World War II is a huge chunk of American history due to its immense effects on the entire world, and let alone the fact that it was fought between some of the most powerful countries at the time. And what better way to represent this immense part of history than through video games? Video games go back as the early 1950s, so it was bound that the two topics led up to one another. On this video, I will show the most widely known World War II video games released on each major video game consoles released through. First up on our list will have us go back to 1981 to the Commodore 64 game Castle Wolfenstein. This game was the first time World War II was used as a major plot point for a video game, and actually received decent reviews in its time. It's a stealth-based game that has you wandering through a Nazi-occupied castle, attempting to get your way to the end. The game was so popular that it still has games being released to this day, all of which are still receiving magnificent reviews. Next up on the list is another Wolfenstein game known as Wolfenstein 3D. Now I know what you're thinking, why would I put another Wolfenstein game so early on the list? The answer is because Wolfenstein 3D is actually the first World War II based first-person shooter. That's right, Wolfenstein defined the genre a whopping 11 years before Call of Duty was even created. Wolfenstein 3D is seen as the game that defined the genre for World War II first-person shooters, and actually has had its fair share of controversy, specifically because the final boss of the game is actually Adolf Hitler. Despite this controversy, the game actually has received quite the amount of positive reviews, and has been inducted amongst the best. Next up on our list will have us time travel all the way up to 1999 to the PlayStation first-person shooter Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor is seen as the game that probably actually did create the all-around World War II video game genre. Sure, Wolfenstein might have done it first, but once this monster of a game was released, games about World War II would start to come out much faster and much more. So if you ever catch yourself playing a World War II game for, say, your Xbox One or PlayStation 4, and you're having a good time, you can thank this game. In fact, the game's story was actually written by Steven Spielberg. Now we are starting to get a little bit more into the modern age of video games with the 2002 PC game Battlefield 1942, where you assume the role of one of 5 classes of infantry, either scout, assault, anti-tank, medic, or engineer. From there, it's just your standard first-person shooter really, but the best part about this game is even on its release, the game had received almost perfect reviews all across the board, and sold over 2.7 million copies since its release. The game defied expectations and would create a precedent for future game developers to follow. Next up on our list is the game that started an unstoppable engine of popular games. 2003's Call of Duty is the first in the series of many games, and took place in the British, American, and Soviet theaters during World War II. The series would continue to feature many different titles in the same setting, so to prevent the series from being mentioned too many times on this list, here's a list of the honorable Call of Duty World War II mentions: Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty Road to Victory, and the most famous, and also the first of its kind to be rated M for mature, Call of Duty World at War. Next up is Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30. This game's story is ripped straight from Band of Brothers, and it does it so good. The game was appraised for giving players the feeling of actually being a squad leader due to its precise gameplay, and would receive generally positive reviews at the time of its release. Our next game is the 2009 PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 game, The Saboteur, which was a nice deviation from the genre. The game has you assume the role of the protagonist Sean Delvin, who is a hard-drinking Irish race car mechanic. It actually takes place in Nazi-occupied Paris. The goal of the game is to restore hope for the people of Paris by liberating certain areas throughout the game. This one was so interesting that I actually went out and bought it for my Xbox. It was actually quite astonishing. The art and style of the game mixed with the intense gameplay made it almost impossible to put down, and I would highly recommend everybody take a shot at it. I bet you thought that I forgot the most insane World War II game released yet. 2017's Call of Duty World War II is a fun and entertaining ride that lets its player take the role of a World War II soldier as they trudge their way through many different challenges and many different tribulations. The game was and still is being highly appraised for its intense multiplayer and intense single-player fun, and I would highly recommend this game for anyone looking for a fun, quick ride through history. Do you agree with my list? If not, leave a comment and give your opinion in the comment section below, and I promise you I'll see you soon.